I wanted to go into the new year with, I guess, less makeup products. So I decided that I was going to declutter my collection today. So I picked products out that I either haven't used in a year or at least a few months, and I just know that if I haven't used them till now, I'm also not going to be using them in the future. I hope this maybe inspires you to declutter your collection as well. I've just over the past few months noticed that my makeup style has changed, so a few products just don't fit my style anymore and they're older as well. So yeah, let's just talk about these. I thought of 3 palettes in my collection that I just haven't used. So I'm going to start with the eyeshadow palettes and then I'll just talk about the rest randomly. The first palette that came to mind for me, and I used to love this so much, but again, my makeup style has changed, so I don't really see the point of me still keeping this. It's this Romance quad. This is the dry rose quad that I loved to death when I first got it. I got it many years ago, and it also says in the back till when this is good to use, and it said January of this year. I really enjoy the glitter that is in here, but keeping this palette only for the glitter really doesn't make a lot of sense, and I have many other K-beauty palettes with glitters in them, so I don't feel like I need to keep this. These tones just aren't tones that I use on my face or on my eyes anymore. They're too pink. I don't think it's a color story that really flatters me. I mean, I like the brown shade, but again, just keeping this for these 2 shades, and I haven't touched this in like a year, that's like the biggest thing, is making me want to declutter it. I used to love this. It's just not my makeup style anymore. This is the BH Cosmetics Digital Future palette that looks very interesting, and the colors, they're not hard to see, but on the inside it's just as reflective, so it can be quite distracting. It has some nice neutrals, and I love the gold in this palette, but again, keeping this palette just for a few colors just doesn't make sense. I feel like 4 pressed pigments, if I'm not mistaken, and I'm just not a fan of pressed pigments. That could maybe stain my eyes, so I didn't use half of the shades in here. Something about the palette in general just never made me grab it or gravitate towards it. It was just really an impulsive purchase. I used it a couple of times, but the browns were too warm for my liking, and then it was too colorful. I just never really got use out of it. So this one has to go as well. And my last palette is unfortunately another BH Cosmetics palette, which doesn't mean that these palettes aren't good. It's just that these color stories didn't really speak to me over a longer period of time, and especially now they don't speak to me. One of my favorite palettes from them is actually Hanging in Hawaii. It has a lot of golden shades, brown shades. I really like that as well. I used it today for my inner corner and everything. But another one that has to go is the beautiful Barcelona palette. I had this on my wish list a few years ago, and then I got it on sale. I was so happy, and I thought that this looked so beautiful. I still think it looks beautiful, but I haven't really used this because it's pretty deep. It has a lot of blues that I don't use. This red color I never touch. Golden shimmer shades are too deep for my skin tone, so they don't look like today, like my inner corner, like bright. They look medium toned, so it's not really flattering. Did love this light matte shade. It's the starkest, most pigmented one that I had in my collection, but again, keeping this palette just for 1 shade just doesn't make sense. Always thought that I was going to do a New Year's makeup look with this. Never did, and it's also not this year that I will do that. I've had it for a long time, for way longer probably than I should, so I also think it's just time to, you know, get rid of it entirely. It was once a dream, but not any longer. Very pigmented and blendable. It's just a color story that I am not really attracted to anymore. I have a couple of face products. So the first one is the Honest Beauty Clean Corrective with Vitamin C CC Cream. I used this a bunch, but I just haven't used this in like a year. Even my cushions I haven't really touched. The past couple of months I've just been into using a little bit of concealer, and I'm happy. I just want my skin to breathe as much as it can. It has a shelf life of 1 year after opening, so it's time. to go. The next is a liquid highlighter from Catrice. It's the All Over Glow Tint. It's the second time I've had this in my collection, and it's the second time that I'm decluttering it. Only has a shelf life of 6 months. It's a liquid. I'm pretty picky when it comes to liquids. Liquids and creams, I feel like you really shouldn't play with that for that much longer, especially if we're talking about more clean beauty that tends to maybe skip preservatives and stuff that could make the product last longer. You just want to be careful. This has a shelf life of 6 months, and I just didn't use it as much, and I think that's because I fell in love with the Halo Glow from e.l.f. that I didn't really see the need to use this. Now, this is a product that I also loved so much, but I have not touched it, but I just know that if I ever need this type of product again, I will definitely run to this first, and it's the Catrice More Than Glow highlighter. I have 010 Ultimate Platinum Glaze, which is a light gold champagne color, and I also have Supreme Rose Beam, which is a more cool toned pink. I've had these for a while. They have a shelf life of 12 months. I thought they had a shelf life of 24 months. I'm mistaken. I've had these for well over 2 years. I haven't touched them in a while, and they're not that expensive, so if I want, I can repurchase them. At the moment, I'm so deeply in love with my REM Beauty highlighter. I adore that formula so much. I have it on my nose today. I really enjoy that, and I know it's a lot more expensive, but I've just used that way more than this. And also my e.l.f. highlighter, my liquid highlighter, so these haven't really been touched. And again, they're older, so I think it's time for them to go, but I always really enjoyed them. Then we have a bronzer that I'm decluttering. I've been really into cream bronzer generally, and I just haven't really felt the need to use it. It's the Maybelline City Bronzer. It's a nice standard powder bronzer. I've always said that. There is nothing spectacular about this, but it's also not a bad product. It's just a staple good powder bronzer. Again, I've just been into more of a cream formula. I just don't see the point in keeping it. I still have my NYX Buttermelt powder bronzer, but that one I just recently got like a month ago, so there is no point in decluttering. It's just that I haven't used this one, and I know I've had it for a while, so it doesn't make sense to keep it. The last face product is a blush. This is from Essence, is the Blush Crush. This is in the shade 50 Pink Pop. Before I got the REM Beauty blush in the shade Pinking of You, I was really looking for a cool toned pink blush at the drugstore especially, and when Essence revamped their blushes, I bought like 4 colors at once because I was like, these are so inexpensive, I know I'm going to like them, and I am keeping the other shades that I have because I do like them and I think they're very pretty, but this color disappointed me because of the glow that it has, the shift. When I use this, it looks very unflattering on my skin tone because it has a very icy, almost bluish lavender kind of shimmer to it, and I just don't like how it looks. I wish that they would have done this in a complete matte formula, then we would have had such a beautiful pink. It's the shimmer that I don't like on this. I think it looks very unflattering on me, so that's why it has to go. It has a shelf life of 12 months, and I'm pretty sure I've had them almost for a year, so the other ones also should probably go. The formula is still fine. They smell the same, but this color specifically, I know I will not touch because I never did. Like, I touched it once, saw how it looked on my face, and I was like, nah, maybe I'll keep it to compare it to something else. I never did, so this has to go. I almost feel bad decluttering this because this used to be my absolute favorite, and it's no longer, and that's fine because we evolve and our taste changes, so it's fine. But it's my Romand Hun All Fix mascara. If you have been on my channel for a while, you know how much I loved this mascara, and I don't know what it is, but it just doesn't satisfy me anymore. Like, my favorite mascara at the moment, and it has been for a while, I have to repurchase it because it's pretty much dry, is my Maybelline Sky High mascara. I like that so much more. It has a beautiful brush that really coats my lashes and separates them, and Yes, it's not as waterproof as this, because this can be a pain in the butt to remove. You have to use some type of oil-based cleanser. I always got it off my lashes. I dreaded to take off my makeup because I knew it was a little harder to remove. With the Maybelline one, I don't have that issue. It's a waterproof mascara that, yes, you have to finesse a little bit, but it comes off way more easily than this. Loved how it holded my curl and how it just made my lashes look, but not so long ago when I used this again, it just didn't wow me anymore. I still like the banana shaped brush and everything, but I don't know, I haven't used this. Generally, I have to declutter this because this has been opened for a while, and mascaras you should not keep for that long. So this has been open for a good amount of time, and yeah, sometimes I don't even use mascara. Like today, I only have a little bit of a shimmer on my lid, but there's no eyeliner, there's no mascara, so I just don't feel like I need such a strong hold mascara anymore. Used to be my favorite, not anymore, but I'm so grateful towards this mascara. Like, it was my companion for 2+ years for sure, and I love it just for all the good memories that I have with it and just how amazing it made me feel about my lashes for so long. The category that I dreaded the most, the very most, is lips. I have a lot of lip products and I only have one pair of lips, an upper and a bottom lip. How many lip products can I use, right? I know I'm not going to be using these anymore. They're older as well, so these just have to go. Let me start with a product that I think is the least interesting. I bought this on a whim, very impulsive, and it just didn't turn out to be something I was really into. I've had this also for a while, has a shelf life only of 6 months, so this just generally has to go. It's the Essence Tinted Kiss Hydrating Lip Tint, and this is in the shade Pink and Fabulous. I just didn't really like this. It is a weird formula, not comparable to K-Beauty glossy, glowy lip tints at all. I've tried this as a blush to see if I can get use out of it, and I just can't, so I didn't really like this product. The next is a lip gloss from Essence. I've had this for too long. It has a shelf life of 24 months. I really like this gloss generally, but it's just old. It's the What the Fake Plumping Lip Filler, and this is in the shade Oh My Nude. Smells like cinnamon because it has cinnamon oil in it. Oh, and the smell has changed. You Have to Leave. And another gloss, also from Essence. This used to be one of my favorites as well, but I've had this also for way too long. Is the Extra Shine Volume Lip Gloss in the shade Flower Blossom. This used to be my topping lip gloss for almost every lip combo, especially when I used lip tints a lot, which I don't at the moment. Usually I just use a lip liner and a gloss and I'm good. And this gloss I liked because it was pretty lightening for deeper lip tints that I had. I've had this for way too long. I've used a good amount of it, but yeah, it's just too old at this point. Oh yeah, two more Essence products is actually these two lipsticks, the Hydrating Nude and the Cool Collagen lipsticks. I've also had for so long. I know I've had them for too long because I'm still wearing masks and everything. I was using these and we are in 24. It's time. Bye-bye. I really like them. They're creamy, and I know they're a product that if I want a creamy drugstore lipstick that doesn't break the bank, I'll definitely repurchase them, but they're just old, so no need to keep them. Another product from Romand, actually in 2 shades, is the Zero Matte lipstick that I'm also parting ways with. It's in the shade Midnight and Pink Sand, and I'm just not into matte lip products anymore. Like, I love a glossy lip product so much more. My lips are usually dry and chapped, and I just don't feel like matte lips look that flattering on me, which is why I don't have any use for these anymore. And I've had them for a pretty long time, and looking at the bottom sticker, one of them actually expired in 2023, so what are you still doing here? And the other one expired this year in January, so you also have no business being here anymore. These are all kind of like K-Beauty lippies that are left. This one is from Espoir. I never talked about this on my channel, if I'm not mistaken. And that's simply because this sucks. I'm so sorry. It's because of the shade. Or maybe it's a combination of the formula and the color, because I went for a pretty nudie beige shade. I don't even know what this is called. It's in the shade Cocoa Rum, and it's a beigey kind of color. And I've just learned that the more light in tone and the more white based a glowy lip tint especially is, the more of a white rim it creates on the lips. So this makes a very unflattering, unattractive white rim on the lip inside, and I'm not going to block my lips every 10 minutes. That's just so unrealistic for me. It smells absolutely divine. I really love the packaging. Oh my gosh, I mean, look at this. So aesthetically pleasing and beautiful, and I just don't want to throw this away because of the packaging, but I don't use this. I've tried it as a blush on top of something else. I haven't used this. I haven't mentioned it because it just looks super unflattering on my lips. I've tried everything. Exfoliating it, just because of the tone of it with the white base in it, and a tint being a product that just wants to stay and tint, it just didn't really work. Last but not least, this is another product, like with a mascara, that just breaks my heart to part ways with, because this I have loved so much, but I don't use anymore. Again, I don't like matte products. Usually I did use this with a gloss on top anyway, but I just don't use these shades anymore. What a chokehold this lip tint had on the K-beauty loving community, especially when we were wearing masks. Everyone and their mother was talking about these and using these for a good reason. I think that this is probably still one of the best matte, transfer proof, lightweight, non-drying lip tints out there. Their shades are beautiful. Dusty beige. I think me and Dusty beige, we were like this at some point. It was my type of tone. I loved the entire mauve-y thing. Now I'm more into bronzy and more rosy cheeks and a whole different vibe. It still smells okay, but even if I was using them, I've just had them for way too long. If I'm not mistaken, the bottom part you can really not read. I can't make out what it says, but I remember that it said something along the lines of 2023. Even if I was using them, they're just old and I just have to let them go. Again, like with the Romance mascara, this has such a special place in my heart because it reminds me of an era of my channel. My channel was way smaller, my makeup style was different. I'll just be forever grateful for what it did for me, and I loved doing my lip combinations with this, so thank you. That we complete today's, I guess, saying goodbye to things that served a purpose once but no longer do. Just leaving them in this year and going fresh into a new year. I hate change. I'm a Taurus. I hate everything that has to do with change. So getting rid of things and changing things up is always very hard for me. Even if I'm just speaking about makeup, I find it so hard to do that. Let me know down below if you are decluttering anything. I hope you guys had fun hanging out with me. Please take care of yourself. I hope you have a good rest of your day, and I hope to see you in my next video. And until then, please take care. Bye.